Hello everyone. So, I wanted to do a transition update. Um, I got some good news the other day, and I got some really good news today. So, yeah, I wanted to share that. So, I started hormone replacement therapy it's been 2.5 years, I think. Um, I've been doing it as long as Planned Parenthood has offered it, because when I heard about that, I immediately called them and signed up. So my testosterone has been repressed for a while, which is why I look like this. Um, and one of the things that basically what hormone replacement therapy is, for those who don't know, um, is literally it is you're replacing the hormones that someone's body naturally produces. So um, the way in which that's done is um, they repress um, or suppress your body's natural hormones, and then they introduce um, the opposite hormones to what your body naturally produces. So my body would naturally produce testosterone, and so that was suppressed, and estrogen was introduced. Um, and the excuse me, I there are possible side effects. If you're curious as to what side effects, talk with your doctor. But there were side effects that I experienced that no one told me about, and that happens sometimes, you know. But I had a lot of side effects, and I still do. Um, I had lots of breakouts on my cheeks, and I have a cream that I use for that. I think that's the estrogen that does that. I've had other skin conditions that women generally have, because basically it's like your body is going through a second puberty. Um, and so yeah, I had tons of side effects. I've talked with other people who haven't had any, and I'm like, I fucking hate you, you know. Not really, but you so yeah, but the thing, the um, hormone suppressant is spironolactone, and um, that really beats up your kidneys. And and for a long time, I didn't know that my insurance company would cover, you know, surgeries, gender affirming surgeries. And so I hadn't explored the possibility until just recently. And someone whom I knew who has the same insurance as myself said, "Hey, I'm getting bottom surgery." And so I thought, "Oh wow, really? I can get that? That's covered?" And and so I went through the steps to try and get it. I've had all kinds of problems trying to get it. It's been a battle for me to try and get this. And so after being denied several times, I I went to my doctor who prescribed my hormones and said, "Hey, could I get an orchiectomy?" Um, if you don't know what that is, you can look it up. And and he said, "Yeah, we have someone here who can do that." And met with that doctor. Fast forward a couple of months, and it was last month, the middle of last month, I actually got my orchiectomy. That was not fun. Um, I've never had surgery before, and so the hardest part out of all of it was coming out of the general anesthetic. Um, and it was like just, I didn't even remember going to sleep. And but waking up was hard. It was hard. And generally, when you have an orchiectomy, you're released within a couple of hours. I wasn't. I was kept overnight because I don't have anyone um, at home who can monitor me. So they said, well, we want you to stay overnight. And that was fine with me because honestly, it took me hours upon hours to finally get over all of the effects of the general anesthetic. And then for about a week, actually not about a week, literally 7 days, um, I had stitches, down there in that sensitive area, and I had these long tubes. I don't know, they were about that long, maybe a little longer, and they were shoved up there. Um, if you look up what an orchiectomy is, when I say up there, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I had these tubes sticking out of me. They were draining for days and days and days and days and days. They were open to the inside of me. Um, and during the spring, when spring first starts around here, I have a major ant problem. And so my biggest nightmare was an ant crawling up there and, oh my God. So I had to stay in bed. Well, it was also one of the hottest weeks that we've had here in a while. It was 80 degrees. And in a trailer, the trailer is like a little oven. So, yeah, it was kind of like a double, gut punch. But, um, I weathered it. I got through it. And, got the tubes removed, the drains, and everything sealed up and healed as it should, and and now, because I've had the orchiectomy, the main um, source for the production of testosterone is gone, and so that means I can get off of the spironolactone. Now, not only does it beat up my kidneys, the spironolactone, but it tastes horrible, and these medications have to be taken sublingually, which means under the tongue, and you have to let them sit there and dissolve. Well, it would take half an hour to 45 minutes for the spironolactone to fully dissolve. And if you've ever held an aspirin in your mouth for too long, yeah, that's what spironolactone, at least the ones that I was taking that my insurance company would cover, that's what they tasted like. It was like holding an aspirin in your mouth and having to let it dissolve. And doing that twice a day, 2 pills twice a day, for several years. Yeah, it sucked. And now, I got so used to taking all of these medications that now that I don't have to, it's like, oh my God, I haven't taken my meds. I have to take my hormones. No, I don't. I just have to take 2 pills of estradiol in the morning. That's it. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. So those are that type of benefit, you know. But another benefit, um, and another benefit is, yeah, I never realized how much sheer nervous energy um, that part of my body, my biology created in me. Um, just the production of sperm and all of that testosterone. Testosterone, for me, I mean, it was like it was like being agitated all the time. Um, it was like having adrenaline pumping in your system constantly. It was, oh my God. Um, and before I went on HRT, you have this constant need, or at least I did, to relieve the pressure, so to speak, um, to do what you got to do. It's why people watch and consume porn. That's what I'm talking about. Now, after having my testosterone suppressed for um, 2, 3 years, I didn't have to do that as much, and it was nice. You know, um, I was the kind of person who could have sex 4 times a day. I'm not kidding. And I would have um, plenty to share every time. It sounds gross, I know, but it's true. So there was a lot of production there, and I didn't want it. I didn't want that. Um, and so now that the source of testosterone is removed, it's like I feel this calm. You know, I can sit and just be. I don't have this constant, almost like adrenaline, nervous energy going on, all the time. It's so wonderful. Um, yeah, uh, just great. Um, my sex drive is intact. Thankfully, that's one of the questions I had for the doctor. And as with any of this stuff, doctors will give you kind of a yes and a no. There's a possibility that it could impact your sex drive. A possibility. Thankfully, it didn't affect mine. It's not zero. It's not as hyperactive as it used to be, thankfully, but it's not completely gone either. Um, but although it's there, I'm not burdened by this incessant, intrusive, secondary procreational drive. You know, um, there are other drives that I have that have to do with procreation, but I don't have to deal with that anymore. So that's really nice. It amazed me the sheer amount of our bodies and minds subconscious and conscious energy um, that is devoted to that one drive, the drive to procreate. Um, in the abstract, that's really kind of a body's entire reason for being, you know, um, to make other bodies. And, it's there, it's an evolutionary thing, you know. Um, that's why sex is enjoyable for us and not, unenjoyable. Although there are some species on this planet where it's not enjoyable for them. Although the drive still exists, interestingly. Um, but it's interesting when you strip all the artifice away, love, companionship, dating, etc., all this stuff. Um, we're really just tadpoles that got lucky, you know. And in fact, among some animals, their entire existence is defined by that one drive. In fact, for some, that is their last act in life, is the act of procreation. So, yeah, it's uh, um, just yeah. Um, not I'm not a passionless, sexless robot, you know. But I have to say that it's nice to get a slightly removed look at sexuality, its importance in our lives, um, and our culture, and just how absurd the act really is. You know, I mean, strip everything away. When you think about sex, how absurd is that? I mean, just the act of it. You know, it's ridiculous. And sure, it feels good, but put that aside. Think about just literally what it is. and how much of our culture is devoted to that, how much energy each one of us devotes to just that, and how much importance we put on that. You know, I mean, how much money does the pharmaceutical industry make off of just male sexual enhancement? I mean, it's amazing, you know, just how much of our culture is devoted to that. I kind of feel like I just woke up and I just got the punchline to a really sick joke, you know? It's just so much is centered around just that act. It's just a biological urge, you know, driven evolutionarily. It's just, and you know, again, I'm not a robot, you know, but it's given me a chance to kind of reflect on the whole, you know, the whole thing. So, yeah. So that's that. The other bit of good news, the really important big bit of good news, is that um, I have a date for my bottom surgery. As always, if you don't know what that is, look it up. It's a um, gender affirming surgery, you know. It has many names, but yeah. And I just heard today that my insurance company finally has given pre-authorization, that is to say they're covering it. And I've made an appointment with my doctor's office. I had a big problem with my doctor's office not doing what they were supposed to do and other things. It was there was a big battle about it, and you know, between me and them, and it was just like, oh my God. That's when I was really low. That's when I was at the point where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get an orchiectomy. You know, I know I can at least get that, and so that's why, in part, why I did that. I was not expecting to get an appointment for the bottom surgery as quickly as I did. It's next November, and I have to drop some weight. So, excuse me. That's going to be what I'm focusing on now. So, yeah. Um, I it took me about a year to go through the whole process, and it wasn't easy. It took work, but I persevered, and here I am. So, super happy. So, yay! So that's my transition update. Um, I asked my doctor because I had to go in to um, talk with my hormone provider to get, you know, um, to get so that he could adjust my meds. And I've heard stories from other trans people and whatnot. You know, when they went off of the hormones, you know, their breasts got smaller and this and that. You know, and I said, hey, is this a possibility? He said, no. He said the reason that, you know, breasts get smaller or whatever is because of the testosterone. That's what HRT is. It's constantly battling your body's natural hormone production. Well, without that production of natural hormones, in my case testosterone, your body's not fighting anything. You're not going to lose anything that you already have. And when he explained it to me, I felt like an idiot. You know, I was like, oh, of course, that's the way it would be. You know, but I like asking, even if it's a stupid question, like some people say. You know, there are no stupid questions. Um, I just wanted to cover all my bases and cover my ass. So, yeah. So that's that. Um, So I'm happy. I have something to look forward to. I have a goal to achieve. And, yeah. And it's just taking everything in steps, you know, and once I check all the boxes, you know, I can finally feel complete in that way, and I can move on to the next goal. So that's really great. Anyway, that's my transition update. So yeah, I'll provide more information as more comes in. Yeah, so thanks for watching, everybody.